Hey there. Now, you know what really pisses me off about modern commerce, modern society, modern everything? When companies increase their prices without providing a better product in return for this increased price. I hate it when subscription models increase their prices for seemingly no reason while providing no benefit to the consumer. I hate it when tech firms charge more money for the same product year on year without innovating in the slightest. What? It seems so prevalent today. And I'd like to talk about why this sort of thing keeps happening because this never used to be the thing that happened. Sorry, let me just adjust that. This never used to be the thing that companies rely on. Um, so I think it's obvious why it's happening. Companies are greedy; they want money. Yeah, it's obvious. But like I said, this never used to be the case. Well, at least they used to hide it better. Now you can just go on any internet service and you can see that they're increasing the prices for seemingly for no reason year on year, man. And they keep saying the same old excuses. Oh, production costs are going up. We need to. COVID happened. Oh no. Oh shit! I said the word. Oh. Anyway, but yeah, the funny virus happened. The thing happened. And whatever, right? Except that it has been proven that companies have been increasing prices just to inflate their profit margins. They've done plenty of studies on that over the past since the virus happened. Um and yeah, it's just I can't be the only one who's dissatisfied with this. And this is part of the reason I like old tech, back when it wasn't as prevalent as how it happens now. But anyway, I guess let's talk about why they keep doing this. To say that, I would like to bring another example, uh, another example that is perhaps relevant to me. Cars, right? Car design again. Wow. Um, so in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever, computers weren't that good, right? They weren't like electronics in general weren't really great. So companies couldn't really simulate how their technology would perform in the real world under user conditions, right? So it was at the time it was seen as more profitable, um, more efficient. Like it seemed like a better decision to over-engineer stuff. And by over-engineer, I don't mean make stuff more complex. I mean make stuff more reliable than it perhaps should be. Now, this led to cars now that we consider to be some of the best ever. The Mercedes W124 platform, BMW E30 generation. Basically, those cars that have a reputation now for never breaking and for just for being immortal, I suppose. Now, what happened from then to now is that companies have developed better statistical software. Well, not necessarily the companies, obviously, they probably outsourced that software from somewhere else. But the point is, they can now predict heat cycles better. The operational cycles that various components of the car would go through during its lifespan, right? So they can specifically engineer components to break down at a certain point by using a specific mix of alloys, a specific design. I'm not too sure on how that really works, but the point is that the result of that is they can make products that break apart after the warranty expires. You ever heard those stories where somebody bought a car and something inconsequential seemed to break down in it, like right after the warranty expired? Yeah, that's not a coincidence. It has happened way too many times for it to be a simple coincidence. This is anti-consumer practices, an anti-consumer practice, and I hate that. It's I mean, not much that we can do about it. Obviously, they're big companies. We're just simple consumers. But um, the reason they think that they can keep getting away with this is because people keep buying their stuff. People keep buying those luxury Mercedes. They keep buying the BMWs. They don't. They just see it as a new car. Like there's the same appeal of buying a new car is as prevalent today as it was throughout history. The same like dopamine rush you get from buying a new product is still there. I mean, it's a new car. Look at it. It's shiny. It's new. It's got all that new technology in it. It's so cool, right? Except you get you get less for your money. You get a worse quality product. You get worse quality service for the same amount, if not more money. Because remember, funny virus. We have production difficulties now. We have to compensate for that, and by compensate I mean we have to charge an extra $5,000 from you. Oh yeah, and inflation, right? We have to keep prices in line with inflation because of course we do. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. You can tell by the tone of my voice. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so basically you get worse value for money. It's just that's just it. That it sucks. You can't really do anything about that. Or can you? Well, I mean, it depends on the industry, of course. If it's something like smartphones, then that industry is notorious for being probably the most wasteful industry out there, besides like I don't know, fashion or something. Because I mean, you build a smartphone model for like what 1 or 2 years, and then suddenly the next model comes out, and suddenly everyone wants to buy that, so you have to throw out all your old stock. Well, not necessarily throw out, but sell it at like a highly discounted price, and it's less desirable. So it's just a mess, really. Like in terms of environmentalism, like everyone likes to talk about how new stuff being produced is like more environmentally friendly than the stuff being produced a while ago. And that's just not true, man. It's all a lie. It's much more environmentally friendly to just hang on to the old stuff you have because that stuff has already been produced, right? You don't have to make more greenhouse emissions making that new stuff, right? Because it's already there. It's already like you can already use it. But the companies don't want you to know that, right? Because profit margins, money, profits, yeah, Mr. Krabs, right? You don't want it's more efficient for them to think, for you to think that what they're doing is good for the environment and for you. I suppose you're getting a better value, but you're not. Can be further from the truth, as I already said. So what can you do about that? Well, as I was saying, depends on the industry. You can on some industries buy older stuff, right? Older tech, like of cars, right? Of course, you can buy an older car. Nobody's going to stop you from that, as much as they probably would like to stop you from buying an older car, but they can't. Free market in that. Whoa, beautiful. So my advice is just buy older stuff. Buy stuff that has already been made. Don't buy from manufacturers because they scam you. It's not good. Now, like I said, one of the reasons why they keep doing this is because there's a little theory in economics called price elasticity. Basically, it measures the relation between a rise in price and a subsequent fall or rise, if you're crazy, in demand. Right. So, for example, if iPhone raises the price of their new flagship iPhone by £50, they have people there who try to predict by how much demand will fall, right? So how few people will buy their new iPhone, right? And the idea is that if it's more profitable to raise the price, so if not that many people stop buying the iPhone, it's more profitable to raise the price of the iPhone than it is to keep the price stable, even if maybe production costs haven't gone up, and that all of that £50 will just be going into the CEO's pocket. I don't know who he is, Tim Cook, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, Um, so yeah, that is the strategy that companies have been employing recently. They've been seeing that people continue buying their stuff even if prices keep going up. So stop buying their stuff. We as consumers think that our individual choices don't really matter. And maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. But if we unite in something called a buyer's union, which is a thing, then we can make decisions as a larger body compared to as an individual. So therefore, we can influence what firms make. So my advice is you don't have to join these sort of unions because they're kind of niche and they don't really like they're not that much of a thing. But my advice is that if you are dissatisfied with how Netflix keeps raising their prices, with how I don't know, with how Apple keeps raising their prices, with how just software keeps switching to a subscription-based model, my advice is just stop buying that stuff. All right, might be difficult to you, but if enough people do that, then maybe we can force them to reconsider. All right, that's this kind of thing has already started happening. Like for example, I don't know if you guys have heard, but the recent Ubisoft releases, Skull and Bones, Star Wars Outlaws, they have been underperforming terribly because people are tired of their stuff. They're tired of that of the same uh, model of video game being pushed on them, like the same model that hasn't been updated in like 15 years. It's People are getting tired of that, and it's happening. Like Ubisoft is like on the verge of bankruptcy right now. They really need this new Assassin's Creed game, whatever it's called, Assassin's Creed Shadows, right? They really need that to perform in order to save them. And it's, I mean, I'm not one to make predictions, but I don't think that that's going to save them. So hopefully, other firms in the gaming industry will see that profit price gouging and predatory microtransaction based profit models, they don't work anymore. This isn't 2017 back when that stuff was new, man. It's not like people are starting to get sick of it. Unfortunately, people don't always do their research on this kinds of stuff. I mean, I haven't done my research particularly. I've just been what I'm saying right now is just what I've what like the news articles that I've read over like the past like 5 years or so. It's just I don't have specific sources to give you. That's what I'm trying to say. But the point is that we as consumers we have more power than they give us credit for. Everyone is a consumer, you know. So we together we can influence how those companies like treat us, you know. And I'm not saying this as a sort of unite the workers type of deal. No, no, no. I don't really care, to be honest. I'm just here to voice my dissatisfaction. Free speech and all that. So yeah, that's really what I have to say. Just if you're dissatisfied with how things are, just stop engaging with it. Just and it's painful. Yeah, it hurts sometimes when you can't access your favorite show on Netflix. Sometimes, even though I have my own sources for that. But trust me, if enough people do this, then we'll be pretty good. Things might change soon, hopefully. Of course, can't be. You want to be cautiously optimistic rather than blindly optimistic, but doesn't matter. One last thing I'd like to say is please, please, please do your research before buying stuff. Don't just mindlessly. Don't buy from the first source you see. Don't buy straight from the company. All right. It's easier to buy secondhand, maybe on a reseller site if it's for tech. You usually can get a better deal there, even if people have a stigma that buying stuff secondhand isn't as good as buying from the manufacturer when you get 99% of the experience for like 50% of the price. Like it's really not that bad. It's not that bad of a deal. But yeah, like I said, just do your research. Make sure you compare the products that you want to buy to each other. There's specific sites for that, be it for phones or for any other sort of tech. So make sure to maximize your own utility before you maximize the utility of the buyer, not the buyer, the company. That's that's my final thought for today. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you guys being here. See ya.